Ladies and gentlemen, hold on to your diapers because today we're diving into the world of Stewie Griffin, the pint-sized mastermind.
Ooh, that's kind of small.
Whose savage comebacks are legendary. This kid doesn't just throw shade, he practically owns the damn shade factory. Whether it's his dad Peter, his dog Brian, or even his mom Lois, Stewie has a comeback for everything. So buckle up folks, because these burns are hotter than a summer day in Quahog. In the episode 8 Simple Rules for Buying My Teenage Daughter, Stewie is furious after his babysitter, LaDawn, brings her boyfriend Jeremy to the house. Stewie, already irked by Jeremy's frat boy demeanor, launches into an epic rant that mocks everything from Jeremy's style to his lack of personality. It's a tirade filled with references to typical frat boy behavior, and it's one of those rapid-fire moments that showcases Stewie's brilliant knack for insults. As Stewie steams over Jeremy's presence, he can't help but unleash his frustration, delivering a savage line that sums up his disdain for these types of guys.
Take that, Hatless! Now go back to the quad and resume your hacky sack tourney!
It's the kind of insult that feels like a verbal slap in the face, and you can't help but laugh as Stewie perfectly nails the stereotypical frat boy. Now, this next moment comes during a much more dramatic scene. The Griffin family accidentally gets launched into space, and as they're preparing for the mission, Lois turns to Stewie and asks him to hold her hand. It's a simple request, right? Well, not for Stewie, who can't resist taking a dig at Lois. As the family prepares to take off, Lois asks Stewie for some comfort in the form of a handhold, but Stewie responds with typical disdain. He isn't in the mood for any affection, and he delivers his reply in a way only he can.
Stewie, hold my hand!
No thank you, I prefer to die giving you the finger.
It's pure Stewie rejecting the loving gesture with a sharp and defiant remark, showing that when it comes to Lois, he's never one to hold back. In an episode Stewie goes for a drive, Stewie has a playdate with a kid named Gavin, who doesn't seem to impress him in the slightest. In fact, Stewie spends the whole time insulting Gavin, mocking everything about him from his name to his house, to his future appearance. It's clear that Stewie's idea of fun is completely different from Gavin's, and he doesn't hesitate to make it known. After spending the entire time tearing Gavin down, Stewie gives this gem.
You're gonna be ugly when you grow up, and everything in your house is cheap, and it smells in here.
Stewie's insults are as harsh as they are hilarious, and even though Gavin probably doesn't deserve it, Stewie takes his disdain to the next level. And yet, in an unexpected twist, Stewie seems to enjoy the playdate anyway. Typical Stewie, right? Stewie is known for his sharp tongue, and here's a classic example aimed squarely at Meg. During a dinner conversation, Stewie overhears that Brian's cousin Jasper and his partner Ricardo are getting married.
Oh, you hear that, Meg? Guys can marry other guys now.
Stewie, ever the opportunist, uses this moment to take a jab at Meg's chances with men. In a way that only Stewie can, he delivers a brutal, yet hilariously truthful insult to Meg's dating prospects.
I mean, if they can do that, that's pretty much it for you, isn't it? I mean, you might as well pack it in. Game over.
Stewie's remark is savage and cutting, taking advantage of the situation to remind Meg that her chances at finding love are slim, especially now that gay marriage is legal. It's a perfect blend of Stewie's cruelty and wit. In Dog Bites Bear, Stewie and Brian embark on a journey to scatter Rupert's ashes.
He and I had an agreement. If he died first, I would scatter his ashes on a mountain.
But as expected, Stewie isn't afraid to hurl insults along the way. As they travel up the mountain, Stewie calls out Brian with a series of nicknames that are based on famous dogs. It's an ongoing joke throughout the journey.
Rupert always called you my bitch.
And it's one of the funniest moments in the episode. At one point, Stewie mocks Brian with a list of nicknames, including
Fat Lassie, Scooby Don't, Rin Tin Twink, Poopy Snoopy.
Stewie doesn't let up as he insults Brian in a way that's both playful and cruel. It's one of those moments where Stewie proves that, even when he's supposed to be in a dire situation, he still finds time to roast his family. Stewie is always looking for an opportunity to take a jab at Brian, but in this episode, he delivers a particularly dark insult after a failed theatrical performance. When Brian makes fun of Stewie for his stage fright, Stewie responds in his own morbid way. As Brian continues to mock him, Stewie retorts with this chilling line.
You know what? I'm gonna buy a cake when you're dead.
It's a classic example of Stewie's humor, a mix of dark sarcasm and unfiltered aggression, delivered with his trademark venom. Next, Peter discovers he has an intellectual disability, and the family gets into a series of ridiculous situations. During one of these moments, Stewie insults one of the older women Peter brings over to the house by delivering this nasty comment.
So, tell me, is there any tread left on the tires at all? Or at this point, would it be like throwing a hot dog down a hallway?
Stewie's insult is crude and shocking as he compares the woman to a worn-out vehicle, but as always, it's his delivery that makes it so funny. While waiting at the airport, Stewie has a run-in with a concerned man who questions why he's traveling alone. As usual, Stewie has zero patience for this, and he decides to make fun of the man's appearance. specifically targeting his braces. Stewie wastes no time before delivering this savage insult.
Aren't you a little old to be wearing braces?
It's a simple, yet brutal remark, and it's the perfect example of Stewie's ability to throw shade at anyone without hesitation. In this hilarious Star Wars parody episode, Stewie plays Darth Vader, and during a duel with Chris, he takes the opportunity to throw some shade at Seth Green, the voice of Chris, and his career. Stewie delivers this biting commentary.
He'll do anything for money. I mean, did you see Sex Drive? Oh, of course you didn't. You're a person.
Stewie's dig at Seth Green is both personal and ruthless, highlighting his lack of respect for certain career choices in the most Stewie way possible. A moment from Bree, Robot is a classic example of Stewie Griffin's sharp wit and his ability to deliver insults with a surprising mix of affection and ruthlessness. It all starts when Brian, feeling existential about his own mortality, contemplates his lack of accomplishments as his birthday serves as a reminder that he's 1 year closer to death with nothing to show for his time on Earth.
I don't know, my birthday is just, it's kind of a reminder that I'm now 1 year closer to death.
Hearing Brian's dilemma, Stewie offers to help him write his biography, citing his experience helping Cleveland with his wardrobe as proof of his qualifications. The real punch comes in the form of a cutaway gag, where Stewie's brutal honesty is on full display. Stewie starts with Cleveland, pointing out his poor choice of skinny jeans.
Hey, Cleveland, you know I love you, but those jeans, they ain't for you.
Cleveland, humbled yet grateful for the critique, responds with,
I knew it. I think I just needed to hear it. Thank you, Peter's baby.
But Stewie isn't done. He immediately shifts his attention to Joe, who is trying to pull off a vest with no shirt. Without hesitation, Stewie shuts him down, delivering yet another hilariously savage blow.
Copy that.
This sequence is a brilliant display of Stewie's sharp tongue and his ability to mix genuine affection with scathing fashion advice. And as always, the humor is heightened by the irony. After all, Stewie himself wears the same red overalls and yellow shirt every day. It's the kind of biting commentary only Stewie Griffin can get away with, leaving both the characters and the audience laughing at his unfiltered remarks. In episode I Take the Quagmire, we witness one of Stewie's most hilariously chaotic moments, born from his love, or rather obsession, with breast milk. Lois decides it's time to transition Stewie to formula, a decision that doesn't sit well with the youngest Griffin. When she tries to feed him from a bottle, Stewie reacts with disgust, comparing the formula to one of Peter's questionable phases.
Ah! Oh, that's more disgusting than when Peter went through that Daisy Dukes phase.
From here, things spiral out of control. At the park, Stewie's desperation for the real thing leads him to take matters into his own hands, literally. Using a swing as his launch pad, Stewie catapults himself straight at a breastfeeding woman, knocking her baby out of the way and latching on for dear life. It's chaotic, outrageous, and quintessentially Stewie. The moment doesn't end there. After he's inevitably pulled away, Stewie delivers a scathing insult to the woman.
By the way, you call those cheap implants boobs? Those aren't boobs. They're lies!
The sheer audacity of Stewie's remarks is made even funnier by the fact that he's an infant calling out adult insecurities, proving once again that Stewie Griffin never holds back. And there you have it, folks. Stewie Griffin's savage comebacks are sharper than a knife and quicker than a speeding bullet. This kid doesn't just roast, he eviscerates his victims, and honestly, we're all here for it. So the next time someone tries to mess with Stewie, just remember you're about to get hit with a comeback so savage, you'll wish you never opened your mouth in the first place. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon, because if you're not a fan of Stewie's savage burns, what's wrong with you?